All these natural things that you should feel as a mother didn't come to me at all, or very easily to me, and I just felt really disappointed in myself that I wasn't this sort of really maternal, natural mother who could, breastfeed and, do the cooking and the cleaning at the same time. It just didn't happen for me.
As soon as I gave birth, I hoped that I'd have that gushing of love and excitement, but it wasn't there. I just felt really low and down.
At the beginning I just thought it was depression because I have recurrent depression. The point is that I was breastfeeding is something much imposed in Italy. I wasn't asked whether I felt comfortable breastfeeding or not, and I hated it.
I think every night after I had him, I was up crying and Rupert was screaming, and the amount of times I had to go into hospital, the amount of times that the midwives came over, and I just started getting more and more and more down.
And when I got pregnant with Nate, I really, really struggled. I think lots of things that affected me from my past around pregnancy and things sort of came back up.
I was like, yes, I can do this, I'm ready for this, it's going to be the best, I'm going to be such an amazing mum. Spoiler, I'm not.
I felt exhausted. I felt so tired that I couldn't take care of myself, and having this baby to take care of was terrible for me. But the worst feeling was that I didn't feel considered anymore as a person or as a woman. I was just the mother.
It was more than baby blues. It was generally a feeling of just not being able to cope.
It wasn't until my baby was 2 months old that I finally admitted to myself that I had postnatal depression. I was crying all the time non-stop, and it frustrated me because I couldn't explain to anyone what was going on in my head.
And I would sit there and I would think, I've got this whole day ahead of me and it's just going to be miserable and I'm going to feel miserable. I wanted to be that mum who made all of the meals from scratch and breastfed her baby perfectly and went to every baby class there was and interacted with them constantly. That's what I wanted to be, but it was unachievable, and I was aiming for something that was totally unachievable anyway. If I hadn't had support from the perinatal mental health team, it does scare me that I wouldn't be here anymore.
There were times when I was driving home from work and I'd drive past a river when I come home, and very seriously had thoughts of just driving my car into a river. It's important to know that this is completely normal. More than half of women who have children experience this, and it's just, there's such a stigma that nobody talks about it.
All of the things I expected to feel, I did not feel. There was no instant connection. There was no overwhelming love. There was no happiness. There was really nothing. I felt nothing. I felt numb. And I just needed to get out.
Your head is going at 100 miles an hour, like non-stop, and I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't get out of my head.
And I just felt very isolated and ashamed.
Yeah, I felt ashamed.
Ashamed because I'm such a strong character.
Yeah.
And I'd let everyone down.
But you didn't let everyone down, because we've all been through it and we've all come out the other end of it.
And I love my husband and I love my son, but I just thought I can't go on like this. And I never would have thought I'd get to the place where I am now, so happy.
Having a few peculiar thoughts, and she said, oh, it's the baby blues, and I was like, this is not the baby blues. And then it got to a point where I literally couldn't cope anymore. My biggest fear about going and getting help was that they were going to take my baby away from me.
The stress of having a newborn and a toddler just magnified it all. A few other factors, and I just got to my crisis, complete rock bottom point.
Was the reason why I didn't talk about it for ages, because I was just so scared that someone was going to come to my house and take Rupert away from me.
People don't realise really what postnatal depression is.
and how fast it can take hold of you.
It's so different. Everyone's on their own journey.
Yeah, I know I'm better now when if there's like a little mark on a crumb or something, I think I can leave it.
Oh, yeah. Well, she hasn't really had a sleep, and I'm all right about it today.
All right, yeah.
Yes.